Pilar, stop! I need to talk to you! Look, please, wait. Look, don't run off again.
Sheridan, please, let me be. I need some time to myself right now.
Just first tell me, why did you run out of the living room like that? What did you mean when you looked at Mr. Wheeler and you cried out? No, it can't be. What were you talking about? Look, Pilar, I can't count how many times I've cried on your shoulder. Now it's your turn to confide in me. What happened back there with the Wheelers and Paloma? Why did you run out like that?
It's too outrageous for words. You'll think I've lost my mind.
Look, don't hold back. All right? You've been like a second mother to me. I want to know what you're thinking.
Okay. And I need to tell somebody. Just now inside, while I was talking about my husband, I was overcome with the strongest sensation that he was right there with me.
In the room?
Standing there with all of us. The way he looked at me with those eyes, I just knew, I suddenly knew that Mr. Wheeler, he's not who he said he was. He's my husband. My husband, Martin. It's not like me to let my imagination run wild. I think I've been spending too much time with my Teresa.
Don't be so dismissive of your instincts. Ever since you first laid eyes on Mr. Wheeler, you said that he's reminded you of your husband.
He doesn't resemble him physically all that much. It's more the way he looks at me, the way he listens to me. Oh, my goodness, this is nonsense. Of course, Mr. Wheeler is not my husband. If Mr. Wheeler was my husband, he would have told me. I mean, why on earth would he come back to Harmony and keep it a secret from me?
Right. I'm sure that he would have told you or Luis.
Or maybe he was afraid how we would react. Afraid if he told us he met someone else and fallen in love and been with her all these years.
Look, that doesn't sound like the Martin that you've always talked about.
No, it doesn't.
I mean, the Martin that I've always heard of, he loved you. He adored his children. He never would have just gone and started a second life with another woman, abandoning his family for no good reason.
No, he would not have. He was too decent a man, too good a man. Yet he seems to know so much about my husband. That and he and his wife clearly have a past with Alistair.
Well, that doesn't mean that he's Martin Fitzgerald.
Of course not. Your father has enemies all over the world.
Yeah.
All this craziness is it's just that, you know, wishful thinking on my part because I've been missing my husband so much lately. Luis thinks it's just a waste of time, but I still hope and pray that Martin will come home to me someday soon. It was as though part of me died when Martin disappeared. I was very much alive and functioning well enough that no one knew how I felt inside.
You had all those little mouths to feed.
I needed to. I only did what any mother must do. But in the still of the night, when the house was finally quieted and I was all by myself, oh, I've never known loneliness like that.
Pilar, you were a beautiful woman. I'm sure you didn't have to be alone.
Well, there were a couple of gentlemen that were interested in me. You remember Mr. Hobby, the florist?
Mr. Hobby asked you out?
Yes, he was sweet on me. But he finally gave up after I said no one too many times. There was no point in giving him any false hope. I only loved Martin.
But he was gone.
That didn't matter. In my heart, I knew that he would come back to me. That's what I believed. Luis would say that's what I needed to believe.
What do you feel happened to him?
Oh, for years I thought that some external force or some person, perhaps even your father, had done something to make Martin leave. That the first chance he got, he would come home and explain it all to me. That's why I kept that candle lit for him.
But if Mr. Wheeler were your Martin...
It would mean that everything I believed in was a lie. That Martin left on his own. That he abandoned me and the children. That he met somebody else and fell in love and has been with her all these years. It would make me the biggest fool in the world.
No, no, it wouldn't.
Yes, it would. It would mean that my beloved husband had trampled all over the love that I thought was so strong and true. And I couldn't take it, Sheridan.
I understand.
And Luis. Oh, heaven knows what Luis would do if he were to think that Mr. Wheeler was his father. He would just as soon kill him than listen to any explanation.
Yeah, he already has so much anger towards his father.
You know, that as hard as I tried to take care of my family, my Luis, he would do everything he could to help. He was so young, and yet he felt it was his responsibility to take the place that his father had left vacant.
Is that why he never went to college? I mean, is that why he broke it off with Beth?
Not only did he give up the life he would have had, but he felt he didn't do enough. And I said, Mijo, it's not your fault. You did the best you could.
I can understand why both of you would have such a strong reaction if Martin were to just show up someday. I guess I'd feel the same way if my mother came back to Harmony.
Your mother is dead.
That's what I mean. I mean, if she weren't, she just left me on her own free will. I don't think I could ever forgive her for that, because it would mean that she just threw me away.
Well, you have nothing to worry about. I knew your mother very well, and Catherine adored you. Just like Martin adored me and the children.
What happened back there with Mr. Wheeler?
Nothing more than my mind playing tricks on me. Mr. Wheeler is not my husband. I've been missing my husband too much lately, that's all.
Ay, mamá, there you are. ¿Estás bien?
Yes, I'm fine, mija.
But the way you ran out of the mansion, you scared me.
I'm fine. Paloma, I needed some fresh air, that's all. Let's go back inside, shall we?
We were worried about you, Pilar.
Oh, there was no need to worry.
Then you're okay?
Of course. There's just a lot going on in my life right now. You caught me in a moment of exhaustion, but I'm fine.
Okay. You know, I'm afraid that Mrs. Wheeler and I are going to have to leave now. And I just want to thank you all for the welcome that you gave us here in Harmony.
Please, not so soon. We have to.
It is I who should thank you for looking after my Paloma all those years in Mexico. You've been wonderful to my daughter.
It was our pleasure, Pilar. We love her.
You should be very proud.
I wish I didn't have to go. I'm gonna miss you so much.
Oh, honey, we're going to miss you very, very much, too.
Pick up, Luis. Please pick up. Luis, it's me.
Hi, sweetheart. Everything okay?
Well, not exactly. Mr. and Mrs. Wheeler are about to leave Harmony.
Tonight?
Yes, I thought you might want to get over to the mansion to say goodbye to them.
Look, I'll be right over. Whatever you do not let them leave before I get there, okay?
Luis, you sound so upset. Hello?
Who's leaving?
The Wheelers. Well, if that's who they really are, apparently they're planning on splitting town tonight. I'm gonna find out if he's my father. It's now or never.